A bit of Chelsea. I want to speak a bit of Chelsea because you've had a lot of activity in the last few days, Don. Your manager coming out, I know it's via Fabrizio, but stating that he's on holiday, watching all the videos of your team play, wants to keep Robert Sanchez, which I think is an interesting one, an interesting early decision from him. Tosin looks like he's going to come in. There's credible talk. We've got Ben Jacobs on tomorrow morning to speak about it, of trying to hijack Benjamin Sisko's move to Arsenal. How are you feeling early doors with some of these sort of big decisions coming out of Chelsea?
With Sanchez, I'm not surprised that he's looking to keep him, because Sanchez is sort of profile of keeper that he likes. He likes a keeper that can play out from the back and obviously is a decent or good enough shot stopper. Sanchez, before he got injured, was actually good in terms of shot stopping, but it's just the lack of concentration, Terry. He's always got a moment in him. Like, if you remember the game against Arsenal, we played them at the Bridge, and he gave the ball to Sanchez, right? These guys were not doing anything for 70 minutes. Out of nowhere, just gives the ball to Rice, and Rice scores. So that's where I'm looking at Maresca and thinking, you're going to learn the hard way, because Sanchez, yes, he can play out from the back. He can do what you want him to do. But overall, his concentration levels, it's like Ramsdale, bro. It's not good. You know what I mean? So for me, I'd rather move him on. But we'll see what happens, because the same thing happened with Poch. He said he wanted to keep Kepa. Had a look at him in pre-season, and the plans changed. So you never know. Sanchez might do a madness in pre-season, inshallah, and then we move him on. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, this guy's got to go. And then Petrovic has got to be our number 2. With the news on Sesko, listen, we've been linked to Sesko for weeks, even before these Arsenal links came out. I'm not one to really speak much about him because I don't really watch him. I've watched a few things here and there. I've done a little bit of research. It does look, quite raw in terms of his finishing, but when he gets the ball clean, he can hit the ball cleanly, bro. That's one thing about him. And I like how he links up play. 6'5", quite physical. But again, it's just going to be another project. And right now we've got too many projects with Jackson, the Mudricks and whatnot. This summer I'm open-minded, Terry, to some of these things, because I know the market ain't great. We're not going to go for Osimhen. He's not going to suit the style of play that we're looking for, because Osimhen, he's not the type of 9 to drop into the hole, play to the 8s and spin and then run like that. That's the type of profile that Maresca would be looking for. So Sesko, listen, if he was to come in, I'll give him a chance, but there's still going to be a lot of learning to do. But honestly, if this guy gets everything together, because I like his raw attributes, he presses from the front. Again, his finishing, his ball striking is actually decent. It's quite good, to be fair. He's tall, like I said, he's quite physical. His movement looks quite good. So if we bring him in, I'll say cool. Let's see what he can do. But I'd rather go for someone that's a little bit more, assured in front of goal. But if he comes in, like I said, I'll be open to it. I'll be real.
I get that. Paddy, how about yourself? I mean, we haven't spoke for a few weeks. I know you've been a busy man. Enzo Maresca in at Chelsea. What's your thoughts on the early stages of this new dawn?
Yeah, well, don't worry. I'm back. I'm here to stay. I'm here to put these Arsenal and Chelsea fans in their place. But listen, it's a weird one. Like, people were kind of like, "Oh, why was Poch sacked?" But like, he got them playing right. But he got them playing right at the end. So really, he kind of failed his remit, I think. So I think it was right for Chelsea to make a change. I think they should have done it earlier. Enzo, though, it's one of them where, like, if he wasn't the Pep disciple, he wouldn't be looked at. I feel like, oh, he's bald. He worked with Pep. Let's inshallah hope he's going to be like Pep. I just don't see it. Like, he had Leicester playing some good stuff, but they ultimately nearly blew a 14, 17 point lead. I don't know. It's an interesting project. I think, like, he's going to be excited to walk into Chelsea because Chelsea have a lot of ballers. It didn't click so much last season, but they have a lot of ballers. They've got a plethora of, like, seriously good players. It's going to be interesting. Ultimately, though, in the managerial market, could they have done better? Probably not, because really, like, it's a very strange climate. You have Bayern Munich hiring Vincent Kompany, who just got Burnley relegated. You know what I mean? So that there's been a lot weirder. I think it's kind of like it's a bit of hope with it, but it could work. But
the reality is that's where we're at. That's where football's at now. We're entering that generation now of the new managers that are coming through. The likes of Xabi Alonso, like you said, Kompany. You've got Arne Slot at Liverpool now. Obviously Arteta. This is what it is right now. The guys like Ancelotti, Conte's and that, they're towards the end, right? They're going that way. So listen, I'm open-minded to it, like I said, because the key thing that I kept speaking about last season was Poch tactically, bro. And for me, Maresca, the research I've done on this guy, he clears Poch tactically. I'll be real. He's going to play the style of football that a lot of these ballers that you've mentioned are going to need.
Yeah, like,
it's just little intangibles in terms of the pressure and whatnot. I'm hoping, bro, he needs to have a good start. Yeah, not like Poch, where we're having, was it 1 win in 5 games or something ridiculous like that. He needs to have a good start because there's a lot of skeptical people. Stamford Bridge wasn't great with Sarri. Like, they used to moan and groan at the style of football and whatnot. But if this football's getting us results, listen, fans are fickle. They're going to change their mind very quick. So he needs to have a good start this time around.
Yeah, he's coming into a very turbulent job. And it could work. It's either going to go extremely well or there's no middle ground here. It's either going to be really good, you're going to be challenging for top 4 straight away, or you're going to be battling relegation. Genuinely, there's no middle ground.
I feel like I feel the same, and I think what you've said, Don, is so spot on about having a fast start. Because what happened to Poch is the football was okay to begin with, pre-season was pretty good, but then the pain and the suffering of the previous season started to creep in as the results weren't going your way, and it's almost a case of getting ahead of steam, not starting flat-footed, giving yourself a good base to work from and grow from there. Gal, from your perspective, Chelsea are coming after another player that yourselves are looking at. There's talk that Šeško has said yes to the advances from Arsenal. Doesn't mean he wouldn't agree with any other club. We know some players agree personal terms with multiple teams. Are you a bit worried about Chelsea coming in? You know, a lot of credible journalists now stating that Chelsea are very confident that they can land Benjamin Šeško and add him to their front line. What's your views on that as a rival?
I've seen some images of Benjamin Šeško's agent at Stamford Bridge watching a game with the owners recently. So, of course, they know his agent quite well. They're well connected. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm scared or anything like that. It's not like I've attached myself to any particular signing. Obviously, I would like Benjamin Šeško, and I see the potential of how he would do. But if Chelsea get him, they get a wonderful player. They get a wonderful player, and he fits in perfectly with the age and profile of the players around there, and he'd suit them perfectly. As for Arsenal, at this moment in time, I've seen enough from my club where we've missed out on targets and we've ended up getting better players like Leandro Trossard, missed out on certain players in the past and ended up getting Martin Odegaard. I thought we were going to go get Maddison. Instead, we got Martin Odegaard. So we're quite good at pivoting if we need to. But at this moment in time, if Benjamin Šeško is at the top of Chelsea's target list and Arsenal's target list, it just goes to show you there's not a lot of good strikers that are proven up that level that everyone would say. Because usually you see Chelsea go for more of a proven striker. Arsenal, in the position that we're in, you'd see somebody go for more of a proven striker, and it just goes to show you how highly rated Benjamin Šeško is. The person who gets him, their development is going to be key. I think at Arsenal, you can see a clear development in a lot of our players, where at Chelsea, that's been an issue, I would say. So we'll see.
Chelsea just need the right man. Sorry, Chelsea just need the right man. As I said, they've got diamonds there. They just need someone to smooth them out. And if they get the right man, who Enzo might be, we'll see. But yeah.
But have Chelsea done a good job developing any of their forwards that they've ever signed?
Cole Palmer?
Well, I suppose the Chelsea number 9.
It's just Cole Palmer. He's the only one. He's the only one that they've really.
Do you mean strikers, Igal? Are you asking about strikers, or do you mean this the last season?
You could take it to forwards, but I'm talking about strikers necessarily. Like, you haven't signed a striker at Chelsea that you've been able to actually get them to bang in a long time. So it will be
an difficulty thing throughout the last 20 years, though. Other than like Drogba and Costa, the number 9.
Tammy did all right in the season when we got the top 4 of Lampard, but after that it wasn't good enough.
But then Lukaku got similar numbers, and you wanted him gone.
Because Lukaku done interviews.
He disrespected the club. That's why.
Yeah, Lukaku went out and said like 4s at Inter. I'm amazed no one's looking at Luis Openda from Leipzig. The guy just got 24 goals, and everyone's going after Šeško. Like the guy got 30 goals.
Everyone wants a big man up front. Everyone thinks that a big man up front is the way to go, who can do everything. I don't know why people aren't looking at the smaller strikers again. Maybe go. I wouldn't be shocked to see 2 strikers come back into football sooner rather than later. Big man, little man, because it can work.
I think people are looking at the profile. That's why. I
think Arsenal. You'd be better off with a Openda than Šeško.
The way you play,
need something
different. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. Who is he?
Openda's
the other
striker at Leipzig. He's the one who scored 25 goals. Šeško is the one who's like partners him, but his pace. You think Jeremy Doku's quick? This guy's faster. Like in behind with your like Martinelli.
He's the guy that scored a couple of goals against City, right? Earlier on.
Why would we We need something different from what we already have. Think about it.
Yeah,
We have
what
Leandro
you already have
Trossard
is
who's quite
Havertz.
short. Jesus who's quite short. We got Martinelli and Saka on both wings. It would be nice to have somebody who's tall, fast, and can also finish.
That's
with both
Havertz,
feet
though.
Instead of having somebody
Havertz
else.
is your biggest striker. Havertz is your guy who you want to hold up and
No,
link
but
up
I mean,
with.
we already have Leandro Trossard.
Yeah, I think the issue here I think why Benjamin Sisko is getting a lot of attention. He's got a £45 million buyout clause. Somebody like Mpendo, you just mentioned there, his contract runs out in 2028. His current market value is over 60 million. That is going to cost you a king's ransom. That is going to cost you 100+ million to break that, because RB are not in a position where they have to. Even if he was 3 years left on his deal, you'd say, well, once you get to the last two, you start losing value. He's 24. So in 2 seasons' time, if he keeps scoring, he's still only going to be 26. That's when it's going to be really hard. It depends how much money you've got. If Arsenal, the problem Arsenal have got, I think like a lot of teams, is it isn't just one player they need. Does that make sense? It's 2 or 3 areas that need to be improved. And there's only going to be a budget of 200. When I say only a budget of 250 million pounds, that can be swallowed up very, very quickly. So I do get it. I do. But the thing with Sisko is, I know he didn't score as many goals, but he is a star-looking player.